Hello everybody, I hope you are doing good. So today we are going to do something new, and that is a crash course. So a crash course is a course for beginners, in short, that will teach you a lot of things in one go. So be ready. So today the language that we are going to hit is the Kotlin programming language. And that is a general purpose programming language founded by NTJ IDEA. What the hell? Never mind. Founded by JetBrains 10 years ago, and it is open source. Okay, good. You might have saw it from the Android because Android uses it as the default language now, but it can be used in web front and server side Kotlin multi-platform, which is the multi-platform mobile. It is a framework that is comparable to, you can say, Flutter, but not in the same way. But anyways, so today we are going to look at it, the basics, of course, not something really big about it or something like that. Just the basics for the beginners to get them started on their own. So yeah, if you are interested, feel free to pause the video, grab a coffee or tea or any drink you like, install NTJ IDEA, and let's get started. So, as I said in the beginning of the video, the first thing that we will need is an IDE. So I did go with NTJ IDEA. You can grab another IDE, but I highly recommend going with NTJ IDEA since it is made by the same company that created Kotlin. Anyways, the latest version is always recommended if you can. But yeah, in order for it to compile and function very well, you need to install also the GDK version 8 or plus or above is fine. So yeah, once you install those, you are ready to go. So we will start a new project, Kotlin JVM. So there is a lot of Kotlin versions. There is Kotlin JVM. There is also Kotlin JS, which is based on web. And there is also Kotlin native, which is based on the native libraries, C and C++. There is also other types of Kotlin like WASM, which is for WebAssembly, but it is not released yet, or it is in alpha or something like that. So yeah, for now we have Kotlin JVM, we have Kotlin JS, and we have Kotlin native. We are going to work with Kotlin JVM today. So yeah, we hit next. We title the project Kotlin Crash Course. We hit finish. Now our project is done. We create our first package. We go right click, new package. We will say that this package is named main. Okay, inside this we will create a new Kotlin file called main file. Okay, .kt. As you might see, once you create the file, you have the name of the package inside it. So in general, it is really comparable to Java, but there is a lot of things that are different about it from Java. So yeah, we will get started with something simple, how to comment, because people like to learn a language without knowing how to even comment on it. And commenting is a good way to organize your code. So please organize your code. So we have a one line, so it is 2 slashes, and you have a single line comment. We have also a multiple line comment, which is made by a slash with a star, multiple lines comment. It is auto-completing it, as you might see here. And there is that green comment that we generally use to describe a function and its parameters, and that is done by slash to start, and we hit enter. You have this. You can add at param, for example, and you are good to go. For example, a1 is made for something. I don't know, I'm not really creative about writing, but yeah, you have this too. So now we are clear for the comments. We will go start with something really simple, which is variables. So the variables in Kotlin are something really interesting to look at, because first of all, variables in Kotlin can be declared with types specified or without types specified. For example, if we go with var a equals 1, so we didn't specify the type, but we can also go with var b 2 points ent, which is meant for integer, equals 2, and that is also a thing. The thing is, you will never really need to declare the type unless you are using something like a Lateinit property. Lateinit var c of type int. You need to declare the type. Now let me explain what is the Lateinit in this one. The Lateinit refers to Kotlin that this variable is not going to be initialized here, so it will be initialized somewhere else, and it will throw a compilation error if you don't initialize it somewhere else. So for example, if we go here, we create the function, the main function, and we go print, and to print, for example, to print the C, it won't happen. For this one, I will just grab a new, I will create a type really quick, type custom, just do this. I will do this, I will do this, b of type int equals 0. I will explain that later, but for now, just focus on the Lateinit property. Everything in its time is good. So as you might see here, Lateinit var c of type custom, the type that we just created. When we launch the main, there is an error that will happen. Just watch. It is executing now. And here you go. Lateinit property c has not been initialized. So because you gave it a promise that you will initialize it somewhere, that means you need to fulfill that promise. So c equals okay, c equals type custom, and we let the b default. Okay, we can go println c dot b, for example, and we go hit run. Now it will compile, it will execute normally, and you will have 0 as a 0 as an output. So this is for the Lateinit. It is really useful because types in Kotlin are not nullable, so they are type safe, so you can't just let them be like that without any initializing. You need to initialize them. There is another way to do it, which is declare them and say remove the safety from them, nullable. So you can declare them nullable. For example, we can go var x of type int. To add the nullability to a type, you just go like this. Now you can call null, and you are good to go. This is a nullable type. So all the nullable types are the same. It's just the type safe type, and remove that type safe by adding a question mark to it, and that's it. Now you don't have even to use Lateinit on something like this. Nullables do not accept Lateinit. So that was for variables. As you might see, there is also constants. Okay, constants are a bit messy in Kotlin. So there is two types of constants. We have val, for example, value of type string equals read only. So there is the val, which is a read-only property, as you might see. So val is used in a lot of cases. There is also const val, constant equals constant. So there is the constant. The constant is used as a constant, as you might have used the constants in other languages. You assign to them and you never go back to them, and they are compile time. So yeah, for the values for the val, it is actually a real-time property. So you can use it inside, for example, let's say a constructor. A constructor, which is a method that initializes a set of properties for a class. So you can use it in constructors because constructors are a bit different in Kotlin. So that's another thing. And yeah, the values are amazing. That's what I can say about them. They are different, yes. They are complex, yes, but they are good. Now we will go to a much harder level. So yeah, as I said, we are stepping up to level 2. Now we are going to do something really cool, which is playing with some loops. So the loops in Kotlin are really good because everything is simple. So for example, let's say we have a var e of type int, because yeah, and it is initialized at 0. Okay, we have three main variants of the loops. We have the for. In the for, we have three variants. Okay, we have the first one, which is for I in, for example, 0 to 2.10, and let's print actually the print ln. Let's print the e, the I. Okay, let's use x for instance, because e is already there. I will use it later. So for x in 0, 10, this means simply for each x from 0 to 10, do this. So if we go hit, let's remove this, and if we go hit main like this, you will see here that we have from 0 to 10. There you go, from 0 to 10. So this is the first variant, which is a good one, from bound to bound. There is also from for x in 0 until 10. So from 0 until 10, that means we will exclude the 10 simply. So if we hit run again, it will exclude the 10. So yeah, you have this 9. Okay, this was for the for. The third variant is actually using the list. So for example, let's say you have an array list. Let's actually do this. Var equals array list of array list of string A, B, C. Okay. For a name in array, so it's like an iterator. It will iterate through the array list of this and print name. It's the for each version of Kotlin. Okay, it is actually the same one as the other two. It is really good. So you cannot mess this up, never. So here you have it. Okay, so that was for the for, and the other ones we have while I is superior than 10, go like this, we go like this, I plus plus, and print ln I. So this is the while for Kotlin. It is literally the same as the other programming languages except Python, I guess. I don't know about Python, but yeah. I'm a bit of an idiot myself because I do things. I say things and I don't know how to do them. I don't know why, but yeah. I said for I less than 10 and I wrote I superior than 10. But yeah, so this is the while, and we have also the do while. So the difference between the while and the do while is that the do while will execute at least once and the while does not execute once. So do, and we finish it with while. Okay, because the do executes before verifying the condition. So yeah, we go like this, building, and here you have it. Okay, nice. Now this was for the loops. Let's go for the conditions. For the conditions, it is really simple. You have the if. For example, if I is equal to 0, so the equal is 2 equals. Let's print ln I is equal to 0. We have also the else. So this will be a simple if, like this. A simple if, building, and here you have it. There is also an if else statement. Println I is not equal to 0, and let's hit here 10. Okay, now it's building, and here we have it. I is not equal to 0. We can have also the if else. So you have something like this: if condition, the code block, else if condition, another code block, and else. This is good for situations with multiple criteria. So yeah, you can do that also. We have a third one, which was comparing to the others, it is called switch, but in Kotlin it is called when. So you hit when, you write the I, and you start conditions. So the cases here are, example, you have your case 1. It is if this case, for example, wants to be executed, it is true and it wants to be executed, you will execute it in the Lambda, which is really cool and which is super organized. Like, this thing can save lives here. So you can assign even Lambda expressions from outside the when to it. which is super cool. I really enjoy that. And for the default, for example, let's say we have 1, we have 2, we have 5. These are the cases, the normal cases that we have. What about if we want to add a default one, which executes whenever all the cases are not true? We have else. Instead of default, we have else. So yeah, that's for the one, the switch replacement in Kotlin. It is really good. It is super useful. Definitely using it for my projects, of course. But yeah. So the next thing will be about arrays. I see arrays as a good thing in Kotlin. So if you want, for example, an array, a normal array, and you know the values, you can just go var array equals array array of. Array of will give you the possibility to just introduce your values directly here. So for example, 1, 2, 4, 8. This will result in an array of 4 elements. Each element is 1, 2, 4, and 8. This is good if you know the elements. But if you don't know them, but you know the actual size of an array, you can go with var unknown array equals array. We specify the type in these brackets. Let's go int, okay, and then here we specify the int size. So we go 10, for example, and there is also something good here, which is initialize them. So you know Kotlin from the variables thing, you know that Kotlin needs its variables initialized in the first place. So you can't declare an array with variables in it that are not initialized. So you can go here and say 0. This will initialize all the elements with number 0. You can also say it, and it will save it for example, iteration. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So it will each case will have its position, the number of its position. There is also a way to create an array of nulls. So we go here, null array. We go array of nulls. Array of nulls. As you can see, array of nulls. We go int, and we go, for example, 10. Here you have it. Now you won't specify this. You don't need to specify it because you already said it is null. So the default thing is that will be for the variables of this array is nulls. This for the array of nulls. We have also an empty array, which will be super useful if you don't want to pass, for example, you have a condition where you need to pass a list of things, else you need to pass something empty, and you can go with an empty array. Empty array. Okay, you can go with this, and you specify the type. You are good to go. Now you have it about arrays. Let's get into something better than arrays. Let's say you don't know the original size of the array. How should we do? How should we proceed? It's simple. We can go with ArrayLists. So ArrayLists are similar to arrays, but they are lists. So you can add infinite numbers to it, and that's the good thing about it. For example, we can go here, list. We go ArrayList of, we specified the type here, string, for example, and we go like this. constructor, and we are good to go. You don't need to specify the size because you don't know it, and that's the cause that you did go with array lists. You can to add an element to this array list, you just hit list.add and you can add the element. You can add another list to this list by using add all. So you will add all the collection of elements from the other list to this list. You have also how to remove it, and also how to get its size and clear it, and verify some content if there is existing or not. And you also can iterate through it by for each, which is really good. So these are the array lists. They are amazing. Make sure to check them in depth when you start working with Kotlin. So yeah, we have these. We have also lists, but I don't see a usage for them a lot because there is array lists and everyone uses array lists. They are easier to work with. But anyways, I can show you how a list can work. We can go like this, just like the array, a list of, for example, string. This is the first format, for example, one, I don't know, X, C. We are good to go with this. The second one is a list, an empty list. Let's say unknown list equals list. We can go like this. We specify the type int. We go like this. We initialize it. You need to give the size. So the list is it has that mix of an array list and an array. So you need to have the size, but it has also the add, the remove, the other things. You need to you can access your things in it, but it is read only. So I don't see a reason why to use it. So let's say 10, and just like before, we initialize it with, for example, 8, and we are good to go. These were for the lists. Now let's talk about the object-oriented in Kotlin. So let's hit to the example in Kotlin's webpage. It is a simple example to explain. So on object-oriented hello. So as you might see here, you have the class, the name of the class, and there is these parameters here. So this one is a constructor. So how constructors work in Kotlin, it is really easy. So you have the main constructor, which is this one. And if you want secondary constructors, you need to add them and delegate them to the primary constructor. So the secondary constructors are always dependent on the first, which is the primary constructor. So you can't just say, I have this constructor, but I won't use its parameters and I will go with this constructor. It doesn't work like that. It's not Java, it's Kotlin. So yeah, so for example, let's say I created a class, for example, class X, and I gave it a constructor. I opened it and I want to add another constructor. I go with this constructor. I go param1, for example, int, and here what I need to do, for example, if as you can see here, it is already in red. So I need to insert this, and this calls this class with its primary constructor. So you need to delegate always your secondary constructors to your main constructor. This is good because, for example, as I was programming in Java, how I did it, I was using overloading a lot. So I was creating the primary constructor, and then adding the secondary constructor with the same number of parameters but an additional one. So this one solves it kinda. So you have the additional parameters always in the secondary ones, and the primary constructor will have the main parameters that do not change. So this is really good. This was for the class, the constructor class. So let's go with inheritance for the first thing. Let's say class y with a primary constructor, and yeah. So I want to inherit a class. Let's give it something to inherit. X of type int equals 10. Okay, I want to inherit class X for my class Y, which contains y of type int equals 11. Let's say I wanna inherit this X for my y int. That's simple. You just go like this, 2 points, and you say I inherit class X, and yeah, the error happens. No. In Kotlin everything is safe. So in Kotlin by default classes are declared as final. So in Java the default behavior is public, but they are not final, so you can inherit from them directly. But Kotlin makes them even safer, so you can't just inherit them unless you specify that this class is an open class, so it's open for inheritance, and that's how you can specify your class. So yeah, now I have for example, let's say I have fun add, and let's go like this, print ln X, which is the X that we inherited from the first one, plus Y. Okay, now to initialize a class it is really simple. Let's get rid of this gibberish from here. Okay, and let's go like this. We will do this var init class X and Y equals, I'm terrible with names, but yeah, init class Y equals class Y. Okay, now I initialized the class Y. Now I have access to the Y of the class Y and the X of the class X because it is inherited there. So let's say init class Y dot add. Okay, now let's run it. And when you run it, you will see that we will have 21. Okay, here you have it. Okay, so this was basic inheritance and basic classes. We have another type of classes which is really simple to use, and it will be super helpful for you. And this my friends, this what excites me about Kotlin the most. So I will just go to the example that I did earlier, and I said I will explain it to you. So we have something called a data class. So a data class is it is called a data class, so it holds data. So for example, if you want to specify your data, you just go like this in the primary constructor, and you don't have any other thing to worry about. So the data class is something simple and really cool and fun to work with. So the data class has doesn't have a body. That's the first thing. And the second thing, it has only a primary constructor which holds your data and its default values, and that's it. You don't have to specify getters and setters and primary constructors, secondary ones, and all that gibberish that you used to work with in Java. It's a lot cleaner, and it will help you create your data models really fast. This was for the data class. It is really cool to work with. You can initialize it for empty if you specified the default parameters. Other than that, you can just go like that, but you need to initialize this variable. And yeah, I think that's it. I also need to show you the interfaces. So interfaces are really no change from the Java counterparts. So interface is interface, for example, faceless. I don't know why I chose faceless, but yeah, you just see that void on face removed. What? I don't know. It's just the same as Java. That's why I'm not really excited about it. So that was it for today's episode of me doing stuff. It's not an episode, it's a crash course. I hope you liked this crash course, and if you like it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends who want to learn Kotlin or interested in it. And of course, if you don't like, we support all opinions here. Please dislike. And yeah, I will meet you guys in the next episode. Peace.